Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're unboxing the Medieval Spawn collectible action figure, the Kickstarter edition from McFarlane Productions. I got my light all the way up. This box is so big, but I wanted to show it to you. It comes in a cool little shipping box. I took it out of that, and there's all the backgrounds and stuff like that. I got the black version. There's three you could get, of course. There's, whatchamacallit, blue, black, and then unpainted. So I got the black version because in my brain, like, Spawn is black, right? In terms of who he is underneath and also his costume. So I didn't want the blue version. That's just me. I know it's a different character actually in Medieval Spawn. It's not Al Simmons, but let's open this sucker up. So yeah, this was the second Todd McFarlane Kickstarter. The original one was, getting close to my mic here, way back in 2020, 2021. And this guy is that figure right here. He's awesome. Basically, the idea is to recreate the original line of action figures from McFarlane Toys. And this guy, I love him. He's so cool. There's an unboxing of him on the channel, so you can go search that out. He's amazing. And I'm bumping everything over here. Sorry for the audio. So let's look at the original Spawn action figure, Medieval Spawn anyway. I picked this up loose at a con, knowing, I think when they announced that they were going to do a Medieval Spawn Kickstarter, I was like, oh, let me see if I can find him. And sure enough, I found him loose at a con. So there, he doesn't have his cape, but he does have a shield. I think I had his sword at one point, but he's kind of been lost in the mix for a while. So there's the original, and then we're going to look at the new updated version, right? So, first of all, certificate of authenticity. There you go. I didn't get the signed version. For me, signatures are overpriced, overpaid. So, all these inserts, there's the action figure, there's all these weapons and armor and things like that. So, let's see if I can do this without knocking everything over. Let's get Spawn out of the box. Take out all these little things. It comes with so many weapons. There was a lot less, there was a lot more excitement. Like, this thing hit the goal fairly quickly on Kickstarter. So there's a lot less of surprises of like, oh, you're getting this and oh, you're getting that. I think they had everything laid out that they could fit in the package. Here's oh, this is so cool. It's a Morning Star that actually like hangs by a chain. That's awesome. And a mace. And yeah, so anyway. Yeah, so I think they had everything figured out that they wanted to give. There was no surprises. There wasn't as much of, let's get to 1 million, let's get to 2 million. This thing blew up right away because the first one, I think everybody saw, was so awesome that they immediately went for this one. Now, the cool thing about these cases for these collector's editions is that they are resealable. It's just a clamshell. You can open it up and put them back in there as much as you want. It's got a collectible... what is this, a comic book, right? Yep, of his first appearance. And there's a new cover by McFarlane. So this is what, Spawn number 7, something like that. Written by, I believe Neil Gaiman wrote this. Because there was a bunch of fights about who owned what. So, not really the original comic, so maybe they didn't have the publishing rights for it. But lots of pinups and things like that, so... of Medieval Spawn through the years. I think that's how he's in the comics now. I think he's a recurring character. So that's pretty awesome. Let's put that back in there. Look at that later. And let's get to the action figure. Yeah, there's a lot here. Oh, and I love this clamshell. Such a great idea. Like, you want to keep them in the box? Fine. You want to take them out of the box? Fine. You want to put them back in the box all the time? Fine. You can do everything. I love that. So... let's take this plastic off. The only thing here is there's tape on the side. But other than that, we should be able to get them out pretty easily. Feet don't fail me now. There we go. 2 pieces of tape. There he is. There's Spawn. He's got a little thing to keep his cape in place. And his, making a mess here. His shield. So there you go, the black version of the Medieval Spawn Kickstarter edition. so much plastic. Let's get this out of the way so we can get a good look at him. Yeah, wow. Oh, he's falling. Is he falling apart? No, he's not falling apart. That's right, ladies and gents. All of these pieces of armor are magnetic, and you can trade them out to decorate him as you will. This is an awesome feature. I love that I can take off his pieces of armor. He's got a chest plate here. Over here on the left, how does that work? It looks like you gotta take his scabbard off. You can take his, you can even take his shoulder pads off. Scabbard's gotta go up and around. Does the cape come off? It's a little difficult. Let's take a scabbard off. Buy a scabbard, and we're gonna put this piece of armor on. Oh, yep, there his cape does come off. Look at that. Boom. Oh, that comes off, and you put the new one on. Magnetizes, and put the cape in. Boom. Fully customizable. That's awesome. Whole bunch of things. He's got greaves down here. These look pretty like they're not coming off. His legs down here. Let's look on the left here. He's got a bunch of weapons. Let's pull them out. A bunch of heads and pretty much exchangeable hands and what do you call them? Arm protection, right? So here's an axe. That's pretty neat. There's a sword. We're getting away from the necroplasm stuff that we got in the first figure. There's a sword. A giant shield. Look at this thing. Huge shield, and he goes on his arm. So I guess you got to take off one of these to stick his hand in here, right? That makes sense. Let's stick that back on. Actually, no. Let's leave that off because we're going to put on a different piece of his armor. Right there. Snaps in place. Kind of holds on. It's a little loose, but you can definitely feel the magnet pull. And yeah, let's look at some of the heads that he comes with, and then there's other chest piece here with the skull on it, like that. So this is, I guess, like a Roman head, something like that. I know I'm shaking. And then here's a fully, you can lift the visor on this one. I think that's pretty cool. Painted eyes. The paintwork on these is beautiful. Like the regular McFarlane figures now, I think at least for DC, I think have come down a little bit. But I love that these collectible ones are top notch. So one of the other cool things, he's got the zombie head, I'll call it. I know it's not the spaghetti. The regular Spawn has the shoelace head, but this is the zombie head open. That's awesome. And what's cool, let's do this. Let's take off his head. Boink. That's pretty easy. Put on the zombie head. And if you're like, hey, if I can get it on. I don't change these very often, so I'm feeling for a pop. There we go. Click. So he's got a zombie head on. You're like, hey, I want to put a helmet on him. You can. This one's a little squishy. And it goes right over his head, and you can just adjust it to match the eyes. And then boom, you've got a Spawn with a head on it. I think that's cool. So yeah, it's got another chain in here with the Spawn logo instead of the skulls. That's awesome. Another set of hands. And what is this one up here? Yeah, the other. I guess that would go over here because this one comes off too. Boom, look at that. So I guess the only thing that doesn't move are his shoulder pads, but it's interesting that his shoulder pads, like you can move them in any way you want because these shoulder pads aren't in the way. There's actually like independent little spinning piece up here. So you can actually raise his whole arm. Unlike some other armored figures out there where they're attached to the back or something like that, this Spawn is definitely made for posability. So I love that. Got little toe articulation here. Double knees, as typical of McFarlane. Here's the back of him. He's a beautiful piece. I really like this. All right, so let's take off this squishy head and the zombie one, and we'll put on the Roman one. I like that. There's our acrylic. And put on the Roman head. So, I like that a lot. I'm going to have to pull out I feel like my original Spawn Kickstarter needs some love, so I may change him up. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool medieval Spawn. This is, I guess, I don't know if it's early medieval. I guess the downside here on the Roman head is that the back of his helmet runs into the cape, so you kind of can't move it up and down that much, but he looks neat. That's all that matters, right? Oh, we didn't show off this axe. Giant double-bladed axe. Look at that. Wow. All the bat wings and skulls. It's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I love it. So yeah, there you go. Where does the sword go? What sword goes in here? I'm trying to look. Does the sword go in here? Did I miss something? Maybe I'm missing a sword somewhere. Looking, oh, there he is. Up here. This sword goes in the scabbard like that, and you can put it on his back so it'll show up. Just picture it, right? Like that. Boom. So, pretty neat. I'm very happy with this purchase. I think this Kickstarter's McFarlane does, I think they're all winners. And he's got 2 pegs here because I guess he's such a heavy figure. That's awesome. So he's definitely going to stand up. I like that a lot. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. If you didn't pick this up, I guess too bad. Maybe look for it on eBay for a heavily inflated price. But yeah, I think if you're paying attention, if you like this one and you've seen the other one, and you're like, man, I missed out. I don't know if they'll ever do them again, but these are pretty awesome collectibles. So thank you, Todd. Thank you, McFarlane Toys, McFarlane Productions, for all the care and the love into here. I like the design of Spawn more than I like the comic book sometimes, but I really appreciate the attention to detail of these figures. If only the DC stuff was as good as these Kickstarter ones are all the time. But I understand the complexities of scale and price and stuff like that. Like after all this, I just got one. Was I think it was $80 before all the taxes and shipping and stuff like that. So it's pretty nice for an $80 figure. I will say that. I don't collect many $80 figures, but when I do, they're Spawn with a whole bunch of assortment of goodies here. So anyway, that is my unboxing of the Medieval Spawn Kickstarter action figure. Let me know what you guys think of them down below in the comments. We'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.